So we did all of our research, we made all of our decisions, we gathered up all of the right equipment to set up our first aquarium, and now it's time to have some fun. Now it's time to go and buy some fish. And that's what we're talking about in this episode of Tank Talk. Hey folks, it's John with KGTropicals.com. It's Sunday, September 28th, 2014. Welcome to this edition of Tank Talk. We are going to pick up right where we left off in our Fish Keeping 101 series. Today we're going to talk about the best part of the whole process, and that is going out and getting your fish. But I do have something I want to announce really quick. I think you're going to be excited about it, so work with me here. One of the emails that I get from a lot of people is, John, I love what you're doing, love the podcast, love the videos, love your website, but I'm not into African cichlids. I want to support you, but I can't. How can I do that? Well, guess what? Now you can. Folks, I have become a Amazon affiliate, which basically means we have put links all over our website to products on Amazon.com, fish-related products, of course, aquarium-related products. And if you use those links and purchase your products through Amazon, you know, first of all, you're getting the best prices. In most cases, you're going to get free shipping. Most of the time, it's 2-day shipping. You're going to get your products right away. You're going to get them very inexpensive. And that is how you're going to help to support KG Tropicals if you want to. You're probably going to buy these products off of Amazon anyway, so why not go to our website, click on the links from there, and you don't have to click on each individual link. If you click on one link, like to say Extreme Fish Food, which is one of the products that we have on there, and you put that in your cart and then you add 4 or 5 other things that are not on our website, we get credit for those too. We get a very small commission. It's not like we're trying to get rich here, but it's nickels and dimes. And as a businessman, those nickels and dimes add up as we go on. So I'm very excited about it. I made a small announcement on our forum about it, and we've already had a whole bunch of orders. I'm really excited. I think you will be too, because as you know, everything on the planet is available on Amazon.com. Somebody even bought a hair trimmer, and I got credit for that. Maybe they were giving me some kind of, sign or something. I don't know. But anyway, thank you to whoever did that. I really appreciate you letting me talk about this real quick. So let's get into buying your first fish. Okay, so going out and buying fish should be something that's pretty self-explanatory, right? But there's options out there that you might not be aware of, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. There's a lot of different ways to buy fish, and we're going to go into each and every one of them. Now, of course, obviously, the first option is to go down to your local pet store and pick out the fish, buy them, take them home. That's certainly the easiest way to do it. It's convenient. You get to actually visually see the fish that you're buying. It's great. Makes sense. And that's how people have been doing it since we started keeping fish in glass boxes. So that would obviously be the easiest and most convenient way to do it. But there are other ways of buying fish, and that's what we're going to get into. One of the things that you should be doing if you're just entering into this aquarium hobby, you need to have some support. You've got me, you've got other YouTubers out there, and that's fantastic, but you might need some people involved with you to help you through this hobby, and also to just share this hobby with. So one of the things that I would recommend to you is joining a local aquarium club. They're all over the place. Sometimes you might have to drive a little bit to get to them. I had to drive an hour and a half to get to my closest aquarium club, but it's worth it because you meet great people. You get all of these different opportunities opened up to you, like auctions and things like that. And the reason why we're talking about it in this episode is because just about every single aquarium club is going to do fish auctions when they do their big club meetings. Usually these clubs meet once a month, and all of the members, not all of them, but the members are open to bringing fish with them to these meetings, and usually the club will hold an auction at the end. Now, this is a great way to get fish very cheap, because what's usually happening is your fellow club members have an abundance of something and they just want to dump it. So a lot of times you can go out there and find fish for $1, $2 a piece. Very good deals. You get the fish right there. You get to take them home. It's a great way to buy fish. Join your local aquarium club. If you don't know where one is, just do a Google search. Trust me, you'll find it. Whether you're buying your very first fish or you're buying fish for your 27th tank, it doesn't matter. The internet is another great place to buy live fish. Now, you're sitting there thinking, of course, I'm going to push my website. Well, yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute, but that's not what I'm talking about. There's a whole lot of other places out there online that you can find where fish are available. One of the first places I would direct you to is Craigslist. I know that might sound foolish, but think about it, folks. You've got people moving that aren't going to take their tank with them. You've got people whose fish accidentally spawned and they have a whole bunch of fish and they just want to get rid of them. Or you've got people that are getting out of the hobby for whatever reason and they make their fish available to you on Craigslist. This is another way to pick up fish very, very cheap. If you're buying your first fish on a tight budget, Craigslist is going to be the way to go. You can literally, we talked about Craigslist in the gathering equipment episode, you can literally utilize Craigslist for every aspect of this project. So Craigslist is a great place to go, but there's also websites like Aquabid, like eBay. And then of course there's websites like mine. Now, a lot of people are very afraid of ordering fish online. It's becoming much more mainstream, but it's one of those things that people still consider to be taboo. How in the world can you order a fish, have it shipped to you through the Postal Service, and it get to you alive? Well, let me tell you, folks, they get to you alive. It's actually very rare now that we get fish. I don't know about other companies, but we get fish that don't survive the trip. I'd be lying to you if I told you it doesn't happen. It does happen. But you know what? There's people that go to their local pet store and buy a fish and it doesn't survive the trip home. And the trip's 20 minutes. I've had that happen to me. So it's an almost 95% success rate for us when it comes to fish arriving to where they're going alive. So it's a very comfortable way when you talk about online, whether it be my website or another one of the websites out there, or websites like Aquabid, eBay, things like that. There's endless options. A lot of times what you're going to find on these websites are fish that are not available at your local pet store, especially if the only local pet store that you have is one of the big box stores. If you're into African cichlids, they may have one tank that has fish in it, where you look at my website and I've got 220. So the variety, what's available to you is going to be much greater on the websites, the online fish retailers. And then of course, like I said, also Aquabid and eBay. If you're not familiar, you better be familiar with eBay. Where have you been if you're not? But if you're not familiar with Aquabid, Aquabid is basically an eBay for fish. So check that website out. I don't sell any fish on there, but I would if I didn't have my own website. So it's a great site. You can get fish very cheap. And again, it's usually people trying to get rid of fish for one reason or another. So online is a great way to buy fish, whether you're ordering fish from a company, having them shipped to you, or you're seeing an ad on Craigslist and responding to that ad. There's plenty of opportunity to buy fish online. Now, there are some drawbacks to buying fish online. I'm not going to lie. I want you to order fish from my website, but there are some drawbacks to it. And the number one thing that people say to me that is the thing that holds them back from buying fish online is not they're afraid they're not going to get to them alive. It's not being able to actually see the fish that you're buying. And I get it. I understand that. Hopefully, when it comes to my customers, the reason why they're buying from me is because they believe in me. They've watched all my videos. They've seen everything that I've done for this community, and they trust me. They trust that I'm going to pick them out a good fish, and that's the one that I'm going to send to them. I'm not going to send them a bunch of garbage. But there is still that apprehension by a lot of people that they're just afraid of buying something, anything, sight unseen, especially when we're talking about a live animal. I understand it. And this is something, our next topic, that's something you're not really going to be able to control if you're buying it online. But we're going to talk about what to look for when you're buying your first fish. So this is another thing that should seem pretty obvious. That you're not going to want to buy the fish that you see in your local pet store that's hiding down in the corner, kind of sitting there, kind of like this, like looking like it's half dead. Nobody's going to buy that fish. It should be obvious when you're considering what to look for in the fish, whether it's healthy or not. You want to look for the fish that's upright, that's about swimming back and forth, looks like it's aggressively trying to find food. That is the fish that you're going to want to buy. You're going to want to look at the fish's fins, their eyeballs, because cloudy eyes are another thing that you really need to watch out for. You're going to want to look for all the fish's features. Make sure they're not all eaten up, chewed up, ripped apart, all of the fins, the scales, all of that. Make sure that they're upright. They're not hiding down in the corner. and make sure that they're swimming around, with veracity, just swimming all over the place, trying to find food or trying to get your attention so that you can feed them. Those are the fish that you're going to want to get. I can do a little demo here. That's what you want to look for, folks. They think I'm going to feed them, so they're going crazy. If you have a fish that has beautiful fins, they look vibrant, they're healthy, and they're aggressively trying to find their next meal, that's a healthy fish. The last thing to talk about when it comes to buying your first fish is price. There's going to be a lot of variations in price. It's one of those things that you're going to find out pretty quickly, whether you're doing your shopping online or you're going to different pet stores. And folks, what I will tell you is this: there are so many factors involved, like age, male versus female, how rare are the fish, are they wild caught, are they tank raised, were they bought from a local breeder, are they very young, are they very old? All of these different things go into what a fish is going to be priced at. But there's also demand. If it's a fish that's in high demand, then you might end up paying a whole lot more for that fish than you would one that's readily available. Frontosas versus guppies. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you do also have fish that grow extraordinarily slow. I just mentioned frontosas. If you don't know what those are, look them up. One of the most beautiful fish on the planet, and probably the most popular African cichlid. They are very slow growers. They grow at about half the rate of a peacock or a hap. So a fish, a frontosa that's 3 inches long is going to be worth probably triple what a hap of any type is worth. Plus, frontosas are in huge demand, and they're not the easiest fish to breed. So all of those things factor in making frontosas very valuable fish. There's a lot of fish that are that way. Arowanas, there's a lot of fish that are more valuable because they're in huge demand and because they're difficult to breed, or they might be slow growers. Arowanas are not slow growers. Trust me, we're talking about 1 inch to 1.5 inches a month. Whew, they get huge. But all of those things play a role in how much a fish is going to cost. Where they're bred, where they came from, were they shipped in from overseas, were they pulled directly from the lake or the river or the stream? All of these things go into what your fish is going to be worth, and what the store owner who has them values those fish at. Sometimes store owners can get a little bit carried away, but it is what it is. So I hope that this makes it make a little bit more sense. If you're wondering what's the best way to go out and buy your first set of fish, or a fish for your 20th tank, it doesn't really matter. There's endless opportunities as far as places that you can go to buy fish, whether they be aquarium clubs, online sites like Craigslist, eBay, Aquabid, direct retailers online like KGTropicals.com, local pet stores, aquarium club meetings. There's all different ways of buying your fish. It doesn't have to only be limited to the pet store that's right down your street. And let me just tell you this: there are people that drive hours to come to my shop. And if you get this bug and you go hardcore into this hobby, you're going to do the same. You're going to drive as far as you need to go to get good fish. So I hope that this makes it make more sense, and it eases the pain of trying to figure out where you're going to get your first fish. Hopefully it makes a little bit more sense to you. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to support our sponsors, Universal Rocks, Dustin's Fish Tanks, and of course, KGTropicals.com. And again, don't forget to go on our website next time you need to order anything, filter cartridges, food, anything. Head over to KGTropicals.com. Click on the button that says Aquarium Supplies. You're going to see just about everything that you need listed right there. And if you don't see it, shoot me an email at kgtropicals@gmail.com. I'll put it up there for you. All right? So thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.